Welcome to The Radiant Life with Tatiana. I am your host, and I'm obsessed with empowering you to live and create the best life possible. I'm a master mindset coach, breathwork facilitator, and a passionate little Latina who loves sharing the magic behind your subconscious mind and energetics. If you're looking to uplevel your mindset, learn all about spirituality and manifestation, and to be inspired in making a change to embody your best self, you are in the right place. My goal is for you to see and unlock your limitless potential, to have the tools to break free from the chains holding you back so you can create and live your most radiant life. I am so excited to have you here listening today. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm recording today's episode cozied up, sitting on my couch, just in all of the comfy feels. So one thing that I do love about social media, and if you know me right now, I'm going through this whole love-hate relationship with social media, which is a podcast episode in itself that I actually do plan to record soon just to share my thoughts with you. But it's when I am sharing my life, being able to get your advice and tips and your questions and to support you and answer whatever you may have based on whatever topic we're talking about and the journey that either you or I are in, and just being able just to connect with you and a community. And it ties into today's episode where I'll be sharing things I learned along the way and tips I would recommend to you on when we were planning our wedding. And I know this is not typical content around mindset, relationships, or business, but it's my life and it's something that I want to continue to bring more of in this podcast. And I know it's going to help you listening, whether you're a bride or a groom or a bridesmaid or the mother. It doesn't matter, because I know when I first got engaged, I was running around oh my God, what do I do? And thank goodness for my friends who had just gotten married, because I hit them up and I got all their tips and I wrote them out, and it just really helps me feel really more organized and at ease. And I've received a lot of questions after posting our wedding on social media from you guys, questions within Facebook groups that I'm in because I shared our review, and even from family and friends. And so I'm going to give you my top tips, things I learned, things I would recommend in today's episode that kind of range from the beginning of the wedding planning process to day of, little tips or input that I would recommend if you're kind of in between certain decisions, because I know I had been, and just hearing advice from previous brides was just super helpful. But if there's anything that I didn't cover, if you have any other questions, hit me up, DM me, email me, text me. Love to support you. So let's just dive on in. Let's start with just imagine you just got engaged, beginning of the wedding planning process. Where do you start? Or just tips that I received or did that were so helpful. Okay. First tip that my best friend Lauren gave me, and thank the Lord for this tip, is make a separate email address. Just do it. Do your last name, wedding@gmail.com, or I don't know, getting married, your date @gmail.com, whatever it is. Just create a separate email address that you and your partner can access. And that's going to be your email address that you can sign up for newsletters, or I don't know, the wedding website like Zola or the Knot for your registry. What else? Sending email updates to your guests. I already said newsletters, but just everything wedding related. So that way it's not getting lost in your email, and it's just easy. It's organized. It will make your life easier, especially with the wedding registry stuff. I don't know. It was a breeze. So biggest tip, do that. You're going to thank me later. All right. Second tip is when you're planning, my stepsister is planning her wedding right now, and I gave her this tip. I was brain dump everything you can think of that you're aware of what it takes to plan a wedding, right? Okay, I need to find a venue, a dress, photographer, all the big things. And then you're going to need to know little details, things that you may not even know. And that's things you can find online. I went on Wedding Wire, I downloaded the app, I Googled, I Pinterest, I asked all my friends, and I just brain dumped a massive, massive list. And then I prioritized it. And I went even a step further. I said, this is my stepsister. And she was like, holy shit, I never even thought about this. But that actually makes so much sense is I reverse engineered it and I divvied it up on whatever months we had left from like when I made the list to when the wedding was. And I kind of just allocated what things I would do in which month based on priorities, based on things that were going on, and made it like a checklist. So that way, when you're looking at this list of all the things you need to do for a wedding, it's not overwhelming you, and you can look at like, okay, this is what I'm going to get done in April and in May. This can wait until the month before the wedding. So I'm not even going to stress or worry about that. And it kind of just gives you better organization, not overwhelm. And I don't know, it was the best thing I thought of, and I just think that would really help you. Third tip, make a Pinterest board. This will help you bring your vision to life, because maybe the colors or the words that you would use to describe either to your fiance or to your photographer or the venue or anybody that's helping you, even a wedding planner, like everybody has different perceptions of things. And so bringing things into visual aspect is going to help you, because maybe for you, you want like timeless sophistication romance, but what does that mean to you? What does that look like? Because that can mean something totally else to somebody else, you know? So make a Pinterest board. It's going to really help you bring it all together. And that's where you can like show your vision to your people to help bring it to life. Okay, this one, at least I recommend it if you're doing a destination wedding or at a resort, or there's probably other ones too, actually, but join Facebook groups. And so be mindful with this one, because I joined a Facebook group that was like brides on a budget, very like broad, and it was great. Learned a few things, but it was overwhelming because there was like tens of thousands of people in that group. I would get niche down. So I did like destination, but I even went and found a Facebook group that was related to the brides that were getting married at my specific resort. So I got married in Mexico and destination. So maybe you, even if yours is in the States, maybe there is a Facebook group or a group of just other brides that are getting married at that specific venue or that state or that time of year or whatever it is. But that was really helpful because I was able to learn a lot of advice and tips, and specifically because it was related to my resort, it just helped me with more detailed on the planning process. So if that is something that works for you, if that exists, something I would recommend doing. All right, let's talk about invite and guest list rules. So I think the earlier you send a save the date or an invite, the better, because depending on where your friends and family are at, a few things. One, I'm in a season where like everyone's getting married, and so I needed to make sure people saved my weekend date and didn't have another weekend going on. I've had multiple people have that issue where they've had multiple weddings on the same day and they had to choose, and like that's yucky, that sucks, right? So I think the earlier the better. Obviously mine was destination, so I wanted to give people time to plan, get time off, to save money. And the thing is even if yours is not a destination wedding, say you live in New York, but a lot of your family lives in like, I don't know, Alabama, such random states. I don't even know why I chose those. You know, it's still destination for people. So I just think giving people a good enough time is great. Maybe you just send a save the date. I've seen people do save the dates like electronically to emails or your phones, just something. I don't know. I just think the earlier is always better. But let's talk about guest list rules. So Evan and I paid for our wedding ourselves, and that we didn't have any conflicts with like our parents pressuring us or forcing us to invite certain people, because our parents are cool like that, thank goodness. However, I know many, many people that have had that pressure, whether their parents are paying or partially paying, or they're just putting their input of like, you have to invite your third cousin removed from XYZ, Stacy, like, of course. And so I want to give you just an encouragement and some rules that Evan and I did, because first, remember, this is your wedding and it needs to make you and your partner happy, not everybody else. Like, it's not a family reunion. This is your marriage. And when you look around, you want to feel like, I'm like visualizing it in my head right now, like, oh my God, my people are here. And I don't care if that's 5 people or 500, as long as you're in alignment with who's there and how they're making you feel, like that's important. Don't do it to make other people happy. A few rules that Evan and I like just thought about, especially because it was destination and we ended up having to be limited on who we invited, which did stink because we both have massive families and friend groups, and there was people we wanted to invite and we just couldn't. But we said, okay, 1, do they know me and my fiance like very well? Not the neighbor I grew up with that I lost contact with when I was 10. Like, how well do they know us individually and together? We asked ourselves, have they been an active part in our relationship? Do they know us as a couple? 3, did they formally congratulate us on our engagement outside of social media, like liking our post or maybe commenting there? Like, I don't know, did they go the extra mile to give us a call or give us a text? That was really important to us. If we were to FaceTime them right now, would they answer? And how would the conversation go? Would it be awkward or would it be friendly? Like, oh my God, it's so nice to catch up. Or is like, why are you calling me right now? And lastly, how would they make us feel on the day of, right? Do we enjoy being in their presence? Are they vibrant? Are they positive? Are they loving? On our wedding day, if we see them there at the wedding, how are we going to feel? Are we going to want to go see them and interact with them and whatnot? So hopefully those are just a few questions to ask yourself if you are struggling with having to cut your numbers, because it happens, and don't beat yourself up for it, but just make sure you're inviting the people that you want there. Speaking of inviting people, be aware of a few things. Be aware of how many people will say yes, because more people may say yes than you expect. Happened to us. Be aware of people asking for +1s. So I think that's a tip here is like, what's the rule that you and your partner want to create around who you allow to have +1s? A lot of people say, like, if there's no ring on it, there's no invite, like you have to be engaged or married. Other people are just like, fine, like if you're dating somebody, that's cool. Again, it comes down to like your number, your budget, and the vibes that you want at your wedding. Obviously for Evan and I, we were destination, so we gave the people who were in relationships, even if they weren't engaged or if we hadn't met their partner yet, +1s, because we're like, we're asking you to come to a tropical vacation. We want you to have your person there. So that was the way we went about it. So be mindful of how many people you do invite. You can always do a list 1, and then when you start getting some RSVPs, you could have like a few people like backup that if you have the space, you could invite, because more people may say yes or more people may say no. That wasn't our experience, but I've seen it with other brides. So just being mindful of people who don't respond. It shows a lot with their character. People that say no, it's not always personal. Sometimes it's just not a good time, season, financial thing for people. And just know that some people may cancel last minute. It didn't really happen to us because it was destination, but other local weddings that I've been to, I think every local wedding that I've been to, I've heard the bride and groom be like, so-and-so literally just texted me this morning saying that they aren't coming, or people that just don't even communicate and don't show up, which I think is, excuse my language, like so fucking rude, because you have to pay per person at that point. Like, you're paying for them and it's not cheap. So don't do that to a bride and groom. If you ever, like, obviously shit happens and life happens, but be mindful. Okay. So as you're getting into the wedding planning process, you need to like look up obviously venues and vendors. Biggest tip is like do your research on vendors and read the reviews. Go on Wedding Wire, go on Yelp, go on Facebook, go on Google, read the reviews. I've seen so many people get scammed with their makeup artist, with their photographer, and this isn't to scare you, but like just do your research on people who just scammed them because they didn't do their research, or I don't know what happened. So read the reviews. And for me personally, because I had high standards and I really value photo and video, which a tip, I would like have that, because that's what's going to capture the day for you that you get to relive every single day. But here's a few things. My biggest tip is interview potential photographers and videographers, because maybe you love their editing style, but like you don't vibe with them. That matters. And so I think what's important with these two people is the fact that outside of your partner, you are with them for the whole day, if not longer than your partner, because the getting ready. So you want to get to know them. You want to get to know their energy, their vibe. How will they handle stress? How will they handle family members that aren't listening when you're doing pictures? Are they very like content curated, and are they going to make your day too much like a modeling shoot, or are they going to let you capture, like they're just going to capture the raw moments? Like there's nothing right or wrong. It's what do you want for your day? How do you want your photographer and videographer to show up, and do they portray that vibe? And make sure you like their editing style. Because even if you like their vibe, if they're like super like timeless, I don't even know if I'm saying the right words because this isn't my industry, but like grainy, like they take away the colors. If that's not how you want your pictures to look, don't hire them, because you're hiring them for their artistry, not just their like ability to take video or photo. So big things to ask. Ask them what happens if an emergency happens, aka what if they get pregnant and their due date is on your wedding month. You need to know those things. Like what's their protocol? How do they handle that? And lastly, make a shots list of everything you want to make sure you get, because they can't read your mind. So for me, like I wanted a picture with my mom, my grandmother, and my sister, like a generational photo. Not every photographer thinks of that on their natural shot list. So like be as specific as possible, or if you wanted a specific location of the venue or position, like whatever it is, with your bridesmaids, with your family, just give them a whole detailed shot list. You can find ideas on Pinterest. That was really helpful for me. Okay, here's a few money saving tips. Think about the details, because it is in the details, right? It's like a blend of like giving the details to give your guests a good time, but also it's your day, and don't overdo it. I've been to weddings where like the details were on point, but they overdid it. And I know how much money they spent. I'm like, did you really need that? Did you really need that? Like, that's totally fine. But like things that had gone unused or not unnoticed, it sucks. Another tip is fake flowers. Okay, floral is the most priciest thing, and it depends on your vision, because if that's the biggest thing that you want to come to life, do it. But you could save money doing fake florals, whether that's for petals being thrown down the aisle. I used them for, my bridesmaids. So maybe you don't want fresh bouquets, because I don't know about you, but every time I'm bridesmaid, I don't even know where my bouquet goes after the ceremony. So that was a huge money saver, and I sold it after on Facebook Marketplace. So there's that. And then finally, like check to see what DIY things you can do. I had my mom print out in like glue to a stick things that we put in the shot glass to take a shot, take a seat, and that was like the seating chart. And we saved so much money than having like a printed seating chart or something like that, like hundreds of dollars. So just see what things you can do, and look at your group of people, your friends, your bridesmaids, your family, and like who is talented at what. Is somebody good at music? Is somebody good at, I don't know, clothes and sewing? If you need like some things to be stitched, is somebody good at planning or sign making or painting? Whatever it is, can they help you in any which way? And can you ask? Okay, let's keep going. Ooh, this one was a save. Like, I'm so grateful I did this. Create a PDF of honestly everything that you've got going on. So, okay, cool. You have your vision board from the Pinterest, but then I created a PDF on Canva that organized like all of the decor I actually had bought, was going to be using, like reality stuff. I had pages with my outfits. I had like the setup, like I just mocked the setup of what I wanted it to look like, the seating chart, put all of the info on Canva. And it was the best thing ever, because it helped me stay organized on what I already had, what I needed to get, how I wanted it to look like. And I sent this and I printed it out to my planner so that her and the setup people could nail the vision, right? Because I brought a lot of decor and I could be like, okay, here you go. And they don't know that I want these specific frames on the bar versus this table versus how I want, like, I got luggage tags set up, whatever it is. Like, the more detailed and specific you can get, the easier you're going to make the jobs of those who are helping, like, actually put together your wedding the day of. Sorry, water break. Okay. Next tip. For your officiant, again, this is a personal preference, but I'm so grateful that we have one of our best friends officiate our wedding. Granted, maybe if we got married in the States, we would have gone through like our pastor or something. But I guess my tip would be like, do somebody you know, somebody that knows your relationship. Maybe you go to premarital counseling and you ask them to do it. Or maybe it's your uncle, your grandpa, your best friend. I don't know about you, but it was so much more meaningful having somebody who actually knew us marry us and lead the ceremony. So just something to think about. Okay, these are just quicker tips here. If you're going to do sparklers, buy the ones that are 3 minutes long, not the 90 seconds one, because the 90 seconds, by the time everybody lights them up, will be gone for photos. So do the 3 minute one, Ooh, this is good. Create a specific do not playlist and a must playlist for your DJ. And for your must DJ, playlist, I gave him a list of different song vibes, artists, just so he could get the feel of what we wanted, because I wanted him to have free range of being the DJ and, how it all flowed, but make a very specific do not playlist. I posted this on TikTok and people laughed, but it's so true. I was like, no line dances, absolutely no Bruno Mars, no Katy Perry, no YMCA, We Are Family. It's not my vibe. And it's my wedding with my husband. And we are like, what do we want to dance to? So that's my tip for you. A tip around music as well is do a last dance with you and your partner. So maybe your people are doing an exit, whether it's sparklers or not, just do a last dance and soak it up. Having a last dance had us end our night so beautifully well. If you can do a welcome party, if it fits your budget, do it, especially if you're having people travel for your wedding in some capacity. It's great for people to get to know each other, to spend more time with people so that you're not feeling like you didn't get to talk or do anything to anybody the day of your wedding. Don't leave your partner's side the day of your wedding. Dance together, eat together. It's your wedding day. So be together. I've heard a lot of stories of people who are like, we weren't even together. And it's no, remember, it's your marriage, your wedding day. This is a quick, easy, good one that's helpful. Bring envelopes of cash for the people you're going to tip. So maybe it's your wedding planner or the bartenders, the servers, the decor setup people, your DJ. Label them. Put the cash in, tape it, give it to your planner, or just have it. I had a bag under my table, which I guess would be another tip. And then we just gave them out at the end of the night. So it was easy. We didn't have to think about it. It was settled. That bag under the table, my best friend Lauren did it. I had my change of shoes, my outfit. I had an emergency kit of just things that you may need. I wish I added hairspray. So add hairspray to yours. Add chalk. I stained my wedding dress and the chalk was perfect on helping get it out. So have in a little emergency bag and just put it under your table. Have your wedding planner do it. Okay, last few things. Handwrite letters to your family and bridal party. That was the sweetest thing we did. We were both so emotional as writing them, but writing them to our parents, to people in our bridal party, it was just so meaningful because these were people that had been with us for so long and they loved it. It was so sentimental. I've kept ones that I've received, so just a thought there. Open bar is worth it. I'm just going to lay that there. In any type of capacity, maybe it's just beer and wine only. Open bar is worth it. Or time limit capacity. Okay, if there's a photo booth option, do it. We had a photo booth that tied in to being our guest book, and it was the best, funniest thing ever to see all of our people's pictures, and then they signed it, and the messages were hilarious. I didn't think I was going to be so glad we did that as much as we did. So that's a tip. You could have an option. So glad we upgraded our video to have drone footage for our video because that was great. A few other things that we were glad that we did that we'd have as tips is we did a drum show. It was a water drum show. Epic way to start our wedding. But I guess my tip here was what can you do to be interactive with your guests? Obviously our friends dance, know how to party. I wasn't really concerned, but if yours aren't, just what are things that can get people on the dance floor or just vibing out? So maybe it's the photo booth, maybe it's a drum show.
We got like LED sticks and light up lays and like glasses for people to wear during the night to dance. And it was just like very interactive, having props. It was just so freaking worth it. Okay, last few tips here. The day of, delegate things to your people. You should just show up at this point. You've had to do all the planning, show up, enjoy it, delegate like who orders food, and I don't even know, communication to your bridesmaids, your parents, as much as you can. Make sure to eat the day of. I don't care if you can't stomach it, do it. Like do eggs. That's what I did. I could not stomach. I had so much adrenaline and nerves, but you have to do something. So I did a little bit of eggs and a piece of toast, and it held me over. Have food for you and your partner somehow when you get back to your room. Like Evan and I ordered room service, and it was the best thing ever. We like chowed down because we just barely ate throughout the whole day. And finally, slow down and enjoy the moments. Like soak it up, and remember what this day is about. Because I'm not gonna lie, if you didn't listen to the last podcast episode around our wedding, I hate to say like something's going to go unplanned, because everybody would say that. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Something might go unplanned for you. Okay. It could be a little chaotic. It could be a little frustrating. Your emotions are already high. How can you just ride the waves? How can you just remember what this day is about, which is you marrying your best friend with the people that you love the most? You will never have a day where the people in the room are filled with loved ones, family, friends. You will never have all those people together again. The people that mean the most. I could get emotional thinking about like how I will never experience that again. So soak it up. Brush off what you can. Breathe it out. Look into your partner's eyes. Don't leave their side. And just like do things that you can like capture the moments. Oh, like whether it's a certain smell or a song or just walking away. When Evan and I walked away at one point, and we just like viewed everybody from like the outside, them dancing and socializing, and I snapshotted that in my head. Soak it up, because this is a day that is truly the best, no matter if it goes planned or unplanned, and embrace it all. All right, those are my tips that I've learned on the way of my wedding planning and day process. That's all. That's what I could think of. I showed them to Evan. He backed me up. So if you have any other specific questions just based on what I said, like I said, hit me up. I would love to help you. And best of luck on your wedding planning process. So exciting whenever you're hearing this. And just appreciate you so much for listening. Thank you guys for being here. And I will see you in the next episode. Have the most radiant day. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to share it with me and write an Apple iTunes review so I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't already following me, you can find me on Instagram at Tatiana_Kuto. Make sure to tag me in any posts that you share. I love and appreciate you so much and cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out and radiate your light into the world.